What happens when you combine a fearless adventurer, a marketing genius, and a passionate musician? You get my great friend, Craig Hanley, a man who refuses to be stopped, no matter the path. Today, we're diving into how Craig blends tech, music, and marketing while living life like an extreme sport. Welcome to the stage, my awesome friend. Craig Hanley is an entrepreneur, a speaker, a musician, and a philanthropist. He believes in living life like an extreme sport. And I am so excited for this interview as Craig has so much wisdom and love to share and tactics and strategies. And I'll go straight to it, my friend. I mean, Craig, you live by the mantra living like an extreme sport. What does that mean to you, and where did this philosophy begin?
Uh, that philosophy began probably around 18 years ago, where I had built a call center in Mexico, and I had just gotten divorced, and I kind of wanted to. I had a bucket list, and I started just working through my bucket list like crazy, and so I didn't want to go at anything at 50%. So I wanted to drive race cars, so I did the Baja 500. I wanted to jump out of an airplane, but I decided to do it at 32,000 feet. I wanted to learn how to dive, but when I learned how to dive, I wanted to dive in some of the most extreme dive spots in the world, but I also wanted to do a great white shark dive, which I did off the coast of Africa. I wanted to go to Africa, but I wanted to see the cats and the rhinos and the hippos. I wanted to see all the, and so we went to Rance's Game Reserve. And then I went during the World Cup. So I went to the World Cup finals and semifinals. It's just a philosophy that if you're going to do something, go all out.
Yes, man. I love that, brother. I love that. I often say life isn't about playing it safe. It's about finding the thrill in every moment. And I love that about you. Every time you and I met when we were in LA hanging out, it's always gonna be a great time. And literally. And that's what's life about. I often tell people we must to live as if we have one last day, not one more, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And Craig, I mean, you had some wild adventures. I mean, diving with great sharks, snowboarding on live volcanoes. I mean, what has been one of the most transformative moments for you doing these extreme experiences?
Really, it was when I was on Necker Island with Richard Branson, and we went over to Mosquito Island, and they have a cliff that you can jump off of. And I was kind of waiting till the end. And by the time I got to the edge, I was afraid to jump. And I wasn't the only one, but there were other people there. And I got to, after I left the island, I regretted not jumping more than I regretted the risk. And so I just said to myself, I'm always going to be first. I'm never going to be last. I didn't like how I felt after not jumping. It was one of my biggest regrets. And I'm like, you know what? Life's all about jumping, man. You got to take risks. You got to, if you believe in something, do it. So from there on out, we abseiled the Table Mountain, which is, going down it backwards. And I went first. I was in Costa Rica, and there was a hole in the ground, and the guide says, hey, he goes, there's an underwater lake here. Who wants to go first? And I didn't even wait. I dropped right down into the hole. Okay, I'll go first. And you have to swim out the other side to your underground lake, and there was a cliff, and I was like, I'm not going to wait. So the guide went and jumped, and I followed his exact path. I didn't even look at what was below. I don't know how high this is, but he went first. I'm going right behind him, and I just followed him right at the edge. There were rocks and things below, and I missed him by a good 5 feet. But going down, you're kind of like, I hope I missed those rocks.
I love it, brother. I love it.
I've always tried to do everything at an extreme level, but I've also tried to be fearless in everything I do. The way I met Richard Branson, I talk about it in my TED Talk that I have. And I basically went a day early, and I looked at what security was wearing, and I went down to the Big and Tall store, and I bought the same outfit. and they were charging $15,000 for a meet and greet with Richard. So I grabbed my friend Ramon, who was next to me, and I said, VIP, let's go. And I was security, and he was the VIP, and we walked right back with Richard, and I shook his hand, and I had a $20 bill wrapped around my business card, and I said, here's the first 20 we're going to make together. And Richard goes, oh, brilliant. What are we going to do? Let's go. And I'm like, oh my, I never thought I'd get this far. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm meeting Richard Branson. And he gave me his private email, and I ended up on Necker maybe a year later, 2 years later. And he goes, I still have your $20. And I was like, I was surprised you took it. He goes, first lesson on Necker. You don't get to be a billionaire without taking people's money.
Wow. What an awesome story, man. Wow. What a great. Man, I love it. Again, it's like making those bold moves, man. And like you say, jumping it. You just gave me the memories. As you know me, my daughter and I, we are big jumpers, right? We travel around the world. We jump cliffs, waterfalls, 50, 60 foot, 70 foot highs. And again, it's like the mentality where you're on the cliff, you look down just to check, make sure the water, is deep enough, and you jump. It's no second guessing. And you made
the wait, the harder it is.
Yes, man. I love that about you, Brother Craig. And Craig, I mean, you built a business empire, and you've done over $1 billion with a capital B in sales. What's the most extreme risk you've taken in business, my friend, and how did that pay off?
I mean, I've taken a lot of risks in business, but I own a call center. We have 1,200 people. And when I first built the business, I didn't have a lot of money. I was down here in Mexico trying to build it because we have English speakers in Mexico, and I'm down here, and I couldn't afford to fly home sometimes. We were, our payroll, we were $250,000 in debt, and we didn't have anybody who was going to help us. And we actually found somebody who was $250,000 kind of last minute as a loan, but it wasn't a bank because we didn't have the credit, and I can tell you that we've been on the edge, and you hear this from every entrepreneur. I almost think it's by design, like the universe wants you to be pushed up against the ledge and pushed up against the wall. And then once you finally break through, everything's great. But up to the point where you break through, you think you'd be better off dead sometimes, You're like, oh. But I've had that in a lot of businesses, and we've done a lot of turnarounds. We've been in debt, millions of dollars, and managed to turn it around. And we made a lot of money, And I think it's finding balance and knowing. For me, business is all about your integrity, and who you are as a human being, and making sure that you can honor your commitments with other people.
Yeah, no, I love that about you, brother. It's like, as I often tell people all the time, it's like documenting and being real and raw. Like, if people often like, I don't know what you post today. Just turn on the phone and talk about the stuff that bothers you. Talk about the wins and loss, like firing that difficult person when worrying about not making up payroll next week or next month. And people actually going to connect with us more than all the fake stuff that you and I seen out there. I mean, you and I always out there in LA speaking.
I in my call center, I had a client that was sending around 20,000 calls a week. We were making $7 a call. That's $140,000 a week in revenue. Another call center offered them equity in their center to bring their calls. This client pulled their calls in a week. In Mexico, I can't just fire those 100 agents that didn't work anymore because you have to pay 3-month severance. So I went from being a profitable business to losing. At one point, I was losing $15,000 a day.
Wow.
I mean, I definitely was like, what do I do? I mean, what do I do? $15,000 a day. What the heck am I going to do? And it's just a process of not panicking, controlling the things you can control. I called all of our vendors and said, we're not going to pay you, any of our back debt, but we will keep our current debt going forward. I need that cash to conserve right now in order to be able to survive. Otherwise, I won't be able to pay your bills going forward. You know what I mean? And we had some uncomfortable conversations, but we managed to conserve as much cash and gave us a 3-month window. We were able to turn it around to a degree where we could get an $800,000 loan, and we were able to get out. But this was someone who worked for me in my center and committed fraud. They basically opened their own center. They took one of the campaigns worth $1.2 million, and then they staffed it with their own I was paying the salaries and bonuses and government benefits, but they weren't working for me. They were working for this other call center that was one of my employees. Put it to my employee, actually put it together, and we ended up. I thought we were profitable, and it turned out we were 1.8 million in debt. And it was during the pandemic when nobody was punching in and out, and there was a loophole that these guys really squeezed through, and it was painful. I mean, we're sending tax money into the Mexican government, but the offices are closed. Well, they're just spending the checks. So all of a sudden, I owed the Mexican government $1 million, and that was uncomfortable. And we executed through it. And now we're selling the business for almost $20 million. So
Wow.
it is what it is. But you just have to learn how to not. There's a lot of emotion in business, but you have to try to think logically. I mean, we had a client not pay us once, and it was a couple $100,000 they owed us, and they were trying to not pay us on it. So I told them that they'd be better off building their own center because they don't want to pay the additional fees. I became a consultant for them to help them build their own center because I needed them to hire all the employees. So I didn't have to pay all the severances. Otherwise, it would have cost me another $200,000. And so I've had to make uncomfortable decisions that benefited us in the best way. And you know what? We got them out of our center and we sued them a month later. And then we ended up winning the lawsuit and got our money back. So, I don't like to be somebody who's litigious, but at some point you got to hold people accountable for the commitments they made,
Yeah. No, I mean, I love that about you. But me, I'm old school, I'm military. Integrity is everything, and accountability, right? It's like if you say you're going to do something, do it, and then honor. And even if you cannot make it, just come to us and talk to us, because like you did it there, that you could help them even more by them, instead of being scandalous, figured it out, a solution that's going to be a win-win for everybody. And speaking of a win-win for everybody, I heard that you are up to some awesome stuff with the Kennedys in the healthcare space. Can you
there's a
tell
couple
us
of things.
a little bit more, brother?
So I dabble in a lot of different ventures. I'm a songwriter. I write music for a lot of TV and film and other major artists. And, I do some speaking. I have a movie coming out called Athena Saves Christmas with Cuba Gooding Jr. He's a friend and a business partner. So I love Cuba. One of the most amazing human beings on the planet. Mars Callahan is a partner at a company called View It, which is a tech play around owning your own Web3 influencer marketing, and we're doing our own TV shows. But somebody approached me with this. There's a new law. Congress just passed the law in November of 23, allowing employers to offer a wellness benefit to their employees. Wellness benefit actually allows an employee to move $1,200 a month from a taxable amount of money from their paycheck to a pre-tax. Well, when you save $1,200 in taxable income, sorry, my daughter calling me here. When you save $1,200 in taxes at a 30% tax rate, it puts $400 back into your check. And this cost of this policy is just $190 when you add the admin and the actual fee for the plan. And so we bring it to employers. Their employees get more benefits that help them, their family. It doesn't replace major medical. It's more of like an indemnity. But it helps those employees put more money into their paycheck and have better benefits. So they sign up for the product, they get the tax deduction, they have all these additional benefits to help them and their family, and they get extra money put into their check every week. They end up getting an extra $1,525 a week, a year in annual income, and it doesn't cost an employer anything. Well, if you're the employer who works with the employees, you save around $600 per employee per year with those tax savings. Wow. And so it's been an incredible run because you bring it to a company with 150,000 employees, and it saved them $89 million in taxes and added $220 million in collective revenue back into employees' paychecks. But it works with groups of 10 or more. So I've been talking to chambers of commerce and all kinds of small businesses and business owners, and we use and a lot of people question the deduction. Is it safe? Is it real? Actually create a technology solution to ensure that we're 100% compliant 100% of the time. So we use a great technology solution on the product. Well, as I was pitching this, I stumbled into a premium finance life plan. And I'm like, this is interesting. And the company was attempting to raise money to cover the collateral. And their idea was to use the interest rates, over a certain period of time to make sure that when someone made an investment, that the investment was high enough so that the interest rates would allow a profitable exit over 10 years. It wasn't immediate, but so I looked at the model and I was like, well, if we had a lot, like $50 billion, we could do this like with pension funds. And as a matter of fact, if we did this, if the government issued life insurance policy on every American at age 45, haven't we just solved the Medicare crisis in America? And so I had a couple of meetings with very high level banks out of New York City, which anybody can probably guess who they are, but we talked with one of them. These managing partners, manage about $85 billion for their company. And they were like, Craig, this is the best thing we've ever seen. So don't get your hopes up, because it's got to be illegal. Because, we graduated number one, number two at MIT, Yale, and we have never seen this. And so don't get your hopes up. It's probably illegal in some way. They called me 2 hours later and they said, believe it or not, we can do it. Nobody's done it. We'll give you $50 billion for acquisition. So we're working on, basically, we created a life insurance product where we can walk into a business with 100 or more employees, 60,000 or more in base income annually, and we can give away life insurance for free, where the employer would own 49% of the death benefit, the employee 51%. And we're basically building that product right now, bringing it to other brokerage houses, things like that for distribution. And I think we'll get going. It's going to be an incredible opportunity. And so the whole idea around Make America Healthy Again, I arranged to have Top Doctor Magazine, which is a friend of mine who runs it. We have almost 1 million doctors that are in our network. And so we interviewed Bobby for about 90 minutes, and we turned it into an article, which has been sent out. And, about 2 weeks before the election, we got it to over 1 million people. We got over 17 million views on it. And it was really, what is the future, under the Republicans of healthcare? And Bobby got to talk a lot about his beliefs and what he really wants to do. And so we have a connection there, and we're hoping to create solutions for the American people to help, Medicare crisis in America, to turn unions around. Believe it or not, with this new supplemental, this $1,200 pre-tax amount of money, we've already partnered with some health insurance carriers who are white labeling the wellness piece in this product, because that's what triggers the deduction. But if you think about it, major medical health insurance is probably around $150, $250 a month for a major medical plan. Well, if we can create a $400, income increase through tax credits, didn't we just make healthcare for an individual free?
Wow.
We did, effectively. So I'm working with a company that does health insurance, and they're ready to launch. And their product with this tax credit would allow them to give away an individual major medical healthcare plan to every person that participates for free. They'd still get $50 a month back after they sign up. So they'd actually still see a small increase in their paycheck. And so we're trying to use some of the tools that are passed and allowing out there to make America healthy again, to benefit Americans and to try to do some really cool things, both the life and the healthcare side of things.
Wow. What an incredible, initiative and idea. And like, wow, you just imagine how many people you're going to be able to help. And I think you're frozen for a little bit, Craig. I'm going to remove you and bring you right back in and see if that can improve your audio. Hold on 1 second. All right. Now we got you back. You was freezing a little bit.
I don't know.
So what you were saying?
I was just hopefully do some good things, for American people. And it's funny. I'm actually, if you've heard the name David Chaum, David, if you Google him, his Wikipedia shows that he's the inventor of crypto. Like the word crypto, he invented. He just created a solution with rockets and AI to blow sands from the moon in between the sun and the earth for 2 hours a day to fix the ozone layers. He says within 6 months we'd have our ozone layers would be as secure as they were in prehistoric times, because we'd be able to shelter some of the heat coming from the sun. So pretty interesting stuff, that I'm involved in. I mean, that could also save the planet. I love the idea of being involved in really major things. I mean, I love writing music for artists and TV and film. And I mean, there's not much in my life I'm not, pretty happy about, with everything kind of heading in the right direction, because it helps other people, and I don't really care about the money, but it does make money to make things comfortable. But really, I think that for your audience, my big tips is, like, if they watch my TED Talk, I talk about 3 things you can do in order to allow you to achieve any goal. And those 3 things all center around one idea, and it's helping others achieve their goals without looking for the what's in it for me. When I help people, I don't say, hey, I'll help if you do this, or you help people unconditionally. And you find out that those relationships, people do things in their relationships with you. Like, I was so surprised that one guy that I helped, knew an amazing songwriter. He was connected to Diane Warren, or, I've always wanted to talk to Diane Warren. And I did something for him without any expectation of return, and all of a sudden I get invited to this. Or one of my favorite stories is with the David Lynch Foundation. I took some footage from a cutting room floor from David Lynch, where he created a documentary called The Invisible Children. I turned it into an infomercial and had Father Mejia come into Mexico to do a call to action. I had no idea. David, a few years later, invited me to Ringo Starr's birthday party. I was in a room with 100 people in Ringo Starr. And I'm a Beatles fan. It was, one of the biggest things in my life. And I didn't know why I was there, but I was there. And David introduced me to Ringo, and he goes, this is Craig Hanley. He's responsible for over 100 million donations to the David Lynch Foundation. And I'm looking around. I'm like, who? Who did 100 million? What are you talking about? So Chris Bush was one of his assistants. Chris goes, you don't know? I go, no. He goes, well, when Father Mejia was in Mexico, we had a family that owns all the baby franchises around Mexico, up and down, and they donated $10 million a year for 10 years to Father Mejia. So you're responsible for $100 million in donations. And the infomercial you did drove a ton of revenue. We ran it, and it drove a bunch of revenue. And I'm like, oh, I never knew. Well, I'm glad that worked out. And I don't know how I feel about that I probably affect a lot of lives with that, but that's why I was there. And so I'm like, the whole secret to life is helping others without looking for the what's in it for me. It's just, you rarely hurt your own chances of success when you help others. And I used to charge $30,000 to create a marketing blueprint. Now I charge $3,000. I cut it. And why do I charge $3,000? Because there's some value there. But the reality is, some of those companies hire me. 3 to 4 out of 10 hire my company to execute. But the other 6 or 7 just become friends and appreciate the value, because I used to charge $30,000 for these things. And now I'm just like, no, here, let's be successful. I want to see you succeed with or without me. So here's the blueprint. If you could do it within your company, do it. I don't need money. I need friends. Yeah. I want relationships. I don't care about the cash. And the less I've cared, the more I've made. Yeah. I think life's like, even songwriting. One of my songwriting techniques, I studied every hit song from 1960. One of the tips is put contrast at every 4 bars. What's that mean? I was feeling down, so I got high. She's so cold that I'm sweating from the pressure. All my tomorrows screwed up. The song. All my tomorrows got screwed up tonight. That's contrast. I wrote another one. Are your brown eyes giving me the green light? Are your brown eyes giving me the green light tonight? Right? It's this whole concept of contrast. Life is about contrast. If you want to make money, try to make it. And start helping people.
Yeah, amen, my brother. Amen, man. That's what life is about. It's like living relationships to relationships, not paychecks to paychecks. I always tell people, like, in order to get more, give more. And, when you add so much value, help somebody make some money, and it comes back tenfold, right? When you do initiatives like you've been doing, from 30,000 to 3,000 to helping somebody write that marketing blueprint, and that person is getting 10 times that value and some, and it's just so much comes back from there. And I mean, wow, man, you met like with some incredible people, Greg, Ringo Starr, the Dalai Lama, and they even jumped from the 32,000 feet, man, from that plane. And what's one story that taught you the most about yourself?
I think, I talked about Richard Branson, I talked about David Lynch, but also, early on in my career, I was having dinner with a bunch of entrepreneurs. Number one, I didn't let fear control me. I didn't have any money, so I ordered the bread and the water. But what was interesting is the guys next to me were eating the bread and the water too. One of the guys at the table who ordered the bread and the water. He had money for appetizer. I think he got a strip cocktail too. But today he runs a $240 million company. And I think one of the things I've learned is that you shouldn't prejudge anybody. We're all on the same journey to be a nobody, right? Because when you die, you can't take it with you. So it's all ego. There's no reason for you to have an ego. I mean, you can't take it with you. So just help people, right? And for me, because I supported that person early on, I have all three of their cell phones now, and I don't know why they have three cell phones. But, I always look for ways to help others, no matter who they are, without prejudging. I've got a kid right now trying to help him with music, and he can't sing. He's got a tune. He can't rap. He can't do anything, but he sends me videos every day of new songs. And I'm like, good for him. And I don't know if he's going to make it, but I just try to coach him and help him a little bit with just comments here. And he reaches out like 5 times a day, and I only reply once or twice, but I'm trying to help him, even though I see his talent level isn't quite where it needs to be. His hunger is there. You can't count anybody out who's hungry.
Amen, man. Amen. And we are live now on LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. I want you guys to drop it down live if you're listening to us now. I see a few people here live with us. Don't feel free to comment.
I can't see anybody, so I don't know how many.
I'm able to see it on my screen, and I see a bunch of folks live here with us. And I want you guys to comment one thing that you are grateful for. And for some of you guys that are listening late on the replay, go ahead and engage. Type in here below one thing that you are grateful for. As we're over here with Craig Hanley right now, having an interesting conversation, and he's bringing the heat and sharing his stories. As this being Thanksgiving week, we're recording the show live, and you guys know the goal of the show is to bring the best and the brightest, the most incredible influencers in the planet, like Craig, to share love and bring some value to you guys that you guys can get out there, apply it, pass it on. And Craig, speaking of, being a gratitude week and learning and all the things that I just talked about here, what is one advice that to someone who is stuck in fear and who wants to start living boldly, whether in life or in business? Because, I see a lot of that out there.
I mean, I would say go to where you fear the most. I think so many people think, oh, I'm trying to get to such and such at such and such company, and they'll try to go through the HR, or they'll try to call the secretary, or just go straight to the owner. What most people don't realize is that it's 95% of the planet. They don't have the bravery to go after and talk to the owner. They don't have the bravery to get things done. If you want to be in the 5%, go where you fear the most. Don't try to reach out to Carlos' assistant. Just reach out to Carlos. We respect it more, and we want to talk to people like that. But if you're in that 5% that has that, pardon the expression, but balls big enough to drop them on my desk in front of me, whether you're a man or a woman, I think that applies. I want to talk to you because I think that for me is impressive, that you are living a life without fear. You're reaching out to me directly as opposed to trying to talk to somebody on my team to get to me. And it's easier because you know who reaches out to my team to get to me? The other 95%. I want to talk to them. And I just think don't let fear control you. If you're ever questioning whether you should do something, if you've had the urge, just say yes. Like when I got invited to Necker, the first time I went, it was $25,000. It's probably $35,000 now. It's a lot of money, but I was just like, it was a dream. If it's on my dream list, yes. There is no if it's something I want to do. I want to be on this TV show next year. I just got recruited to be on a TV show called The Real Deal as an icon, which I think will replace Shark Tank. It's a really great show. They're in season 3. They've been on Fox Business, but now they're moving to regular Fox. And asked me an icon. I'm like, I kind of want to do it because I'm investing and talking to other business owners, and I'm really good with helping businesses succeed. And so I went to Utah and met the whole staff and met the season 2 candidates and icons, and got to see kind of what it was all about. I'm really interested in doing this show now. Amazing,
That is so cool, brother. That's so cool. And now I heard that my brother Trump congratulated you from being on Fox next year. You
Well,
know
the
how
Trump
Alex
congratulations.
Jones.
So I was at the Nashville conference. I was at Bitcoin conference in Nashville. And after Donald spoke, I was with the whales. I mean, I don't deserve to be with the whales, but I somehow buttered my way through. And
You
I
deserve
don't
that
know.
plus more, brother.
I was with the whales, and I was with the whales, and so I'm in the front row, and Trump walks by. He goes, "Alex Jones, great to see you." Like, and everybody thought I looked like Alex Jones from their point of view on. I was like, "Oh,
That's
great."
your twin brother right there from another mother, man. Alex Jones in the house, man. That's awesome. It'll be great to see all of you guys on Fox next year. And I can already see your show being a massive hit. And what a legacy, my friend. What a legacy. And speaking of legacy and incredible stories and other things that you've done, my friend, I mean, you achieved so much across life and business, Craig. What is the legacy you hope to leave behind, my friend?
Um, um, the legacy I hope to leave behind is that I hope people do more for others. I just think that kindness is more important than anything, and I just think people should be kind to one another.
Yeah, especially
I
nowadays, you
mean,
know.
you know what? We're all on a journey to be nobody. Like I'm nobody special. My brain is blessed, and a curse because it keeps me up late at night. But but I'm like, I just think there's so much in life. When you get up on the right side of the dirt, I'm just so blessed, to be able to help other people. And I just think that if you start helping others, you start to feel good, and you can't be depressed when people are counting on you and you're helping them succeed, and they're grateful to you and they express gratitude. I just see so much gratitude in the world that it makes me excited.
Yes. I love that, brother. And I really love your attitude, Greg. Even from the beginning of the show, like you say, no, screw it. Let's not even edit it. It's just to go with the flow. And I know that we had a few interruptions here with the audio and it froze. But again, it's like going in the moment, being in the moment, like as I often preach, doing the real thing in real life with the real people and
Right?
embracing it when the technology doesn't work like how we expected, because we wanted to give you guys this live experience in addition to the audio experience for the show. And I love that about you, brother.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing that's supposed to work seamlessly. Like I think I have more of a ready, fire, aim type of methodology. There's the ready, aim, fire too. But for me, I just think everything happens for a reason. And we had a little bit of I was trying to get on a different thing. I thought I might want to share my music or whatever. I wasn't sure what I'd want to share. I'm on one browser that doesn't align with the Steam, whatever this is, SteamYard.
Oh, the
And so I was
streaming.
trying to move to a different browser because I had this Firefox was taking up my camera. It wouldn't let me have my camera on the Google, which is what happened on Chrome. And so,
I really
I
hope
was
that
like,
the
well,
StreamYard corporate's listening, making sure that.
yeah.
Oh,
And I
let
don't
me.
know if that was the reason, but I kind of think that was the reason,
No,
So,
man. I love it, brother. I just love it how you are, man, because that's what we need more. And then you know how it is. And if somebody gets bothered, Joe, because of the quality of the audio and this and that, that's like it's so much crap. And what is wrong is always available. So it's so what is right. And I love that about you, is embracing more of that. All my friends that are listening and watching, all the podcasters and the show hosts out there, you see the drill. We're making it happen. And I
yeah.
can understand what Craig is saying. We have a little bit of audio quality, but we're making it happen. It's about doing it. It's
Yeah,
about
it's
having a
just
good
we
time.
had time today, and the holidays are coming up, and it was the time to do it, because we're both busy men, and so for me, I'm like, you know what, let's give your audience whatever we can give them, and put it together. So
Yeah, and Craig, if you could challenge our listeners to take one bold action today to transform their life, my friend, what would that be, Craig?
uh, well, I think nothing happens without intention. So write down the top 5 things you want to accomplish in 2025 on a piece of paper, and then walk outdoors and just show it to the universe. I have this theory that God is deaf. He's not blind, but he's deaf. So if you're just going to sit and hope shit happens, you're going to fail. But if you show the universe your goals, you actually take action, that whatever you believe in, God, aliens, whatever, enhanced beings, whatever you believe, right? And it's all okay, right? That's called faith. Whatever you believe in is your faith, right? Religion really isn't anything to do with faith. People who are religious aren't always executing, right? They're not always believing in their dreams. But I just think, write down 5 things that are important to you and put it out to the universe, and then do something that shows that you want to do those things. And I guarantee it, that everything on your list will happen. I don't know how it works, but if I write stuff down and I show it to the universe and I take some actions around it and create energy around it, I can do anything.
Amen, my brother.
So can you.
I love that. I love that. Put your intentions out there, write it down, and put it out there. Show the universe, and just keep taking massive action every single day.
It won't work. If you don't write it down, it won't work. If you don't write it down, it won't work. I don't know why that's true, but it's true. If you don't write it down on a piece of paper and make it like something about maybe how it connects to your amygdala, whatever. Somebody explained it to me, but it's something that when you write it down, takes it from idea to action, and it generally will happen for you. That's all.
Yeah. No, I'm a big believer. I often, every time that I speak, I say the term, writing is the doing part of thinking. And the more writing that we do and you put it out there, it activates your nervous system inside and it does wonders. My brother, what a great show, my friend. And Craig, before I ask you the last question of this show, which is a very powerful question, I wanted to know, where do you hang around the most on social media? As I bet you our followers here wanted to continue this conversation, following you and all the awesomeness that you have coming up with the show on Fox next year, the new initiatives with healthcare. I mean, every single thing that you do, brother, and the wild experiences. Where do you hang around the most on social? Best place for them to follow you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty easy to find if you search Craig Hanley, my name. I have CraigHanley.com, but I answer my Instagram. We're not friends. I still get my messages there, so I'll see it. I think that's one of the big fears of people who aren't connected. They're like, oh, if I message him, he's not going to see it. But I do look at my messages in Instagram. I look at my message on LinkedIn. I see my Facebook messages. I'm Craig Hanley on all of them.
Very cool, man. So, very cool. Very easy to find. CraigHandley.com, guys. Check it out. Follow my brother Craig on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and you can learn more about him at CraigHandley.com. And then, my friend, bring us to the final question of the show, which is said, as we are having such a great conversation here. And it's 70 years from now. You are 110 years old, and it's your eulogy. Your best friend is going to be reading it, one of your loved ones. If I happen to be alive still, I'll be there with my Brazilian Italian hat, smoking a cigar, listening to some AC/DC, and bringing the light and blowing the whistle. You already know it. And your best friend going to say, Craig Hanley was ... In your own words, who was Craig Hanley?
Are you still there? Did you just just show your face? Yours way.
No, I'm here. I just want to bring you on a solo layout.
Oh, well, look, I just want people to know that I tried to help others. I tried to be a good person and operate with integrity. I've tried to make sure I don't screw anybody over. I think some people have. I think sometimes you can't avoid having somebody feel some animosity based on actions, but I'm a businessman too, so I'm never going to let somebody take advantage of me in the field of business. And if that upsets you, well, don't do business with me. But because I think I'm the fairest guy in the world. But really, for me, it's just making sure that people knew that I was fair and I did my all, the best I could, to be a person of integrity with both my children. I mean, my kids are my most important thing to me, and I always try to make sure I'm there for them as best I can, and have done the best job as a father. I do the best job as an artist. I do the best job as a friend and a partner. I'm not always successful. I'm not always, sometimes I feel like I'm one of the biggest failures on the planet, but I think it's just making sure you put your Craig put his best foot forward. and honored his commitments to people and really helped a lot of people in this world become better. He spread a lot of positivity in the world.
Wow. What a powerful, powerful answer, my friend. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend Craig Hanley in the house. It's about to go down. Hey, Craig, I really appreciate you, brother, being on the show, man. As you guys know, we are out there helping others on the streets. This is a major week with Thanksgiving. We do that throughout the year, guys. We on the streets. We are helping people, homeless, veterans, looking for moms on the parking lots, on Walmarts, in supermarkets. We ask them how much money they make. We handle them cash, tell them to take a little break. I mean, we are running a huge campaign. Our guests that come through our shows, they always supporting. I want to thank you, Greg, for being the greatest supporting our causes.
Sure.
Some of you guys out there, man, and I challenge you guys, my audience, to go out there, own your own cities, go in the supermarkets, go around, drive around, look for people in the streets, go to your local TJ Maxx and buy a bunch of beanies and put $100 bills, $20 bills, $10 bills, whatever you can afford, and pass it out to a homeless. Some of those guys are veterans. Some of those guys, they serve our country. When you're driving around and you see a mom selling tamales or strawberries or oranges on a parking lot, go ahead and handle them some cash. Don't buy, instead of buying their vegetables, you just give them cash and tell them to, if you can afford to give them a few $100, like we do it with all the money that we raise, not just from our show, but also from the books that I sell, the Work Like an Immigrant, International Success Around the World, 100% since day one. Back in 2018, we donate 100% of the proceeds to help others feed hunger. You guys know the drill. A lot of the stuff, we don't like to put it out there. Nobody want to have a camera on somebody's face when you're giving them cash. From time to time, it's good to do it so you can show and you can inspire others. As you guys know, life is all about the mission, never the commission, man. It's always about the contribution, never the acquisition. I don't care how much you wear. You acquire the person that accumulates the most wealth. Guess what? You won't take it with you at the end. So I'm proud to everybody that support our shows. Your like, if you guys can go on Spotify, on Apple, we already have hundreds of 5-star reviews. We're one of the top shows. Is because of you guys. It's because of our listeners. You guys, they are watching us now live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. In a couple of weeks from now, this is going to be also on YouTube. Yes, I get it. The audio, is all good. You guys got the gold of the message, And Craig, any last words? I'm just super fired up, brother, and I'm very excited that we had such a great talk. And this is the first. The next one we're gonna have to do it live in person, you and I, and really, really, we'll make it 2 hours. The next one, a mastermind live in real time. Once some of your projects that you were talking about comes to fruition next year, I would love for us to go ahead and talk about those, because I know it's going to help a lot of people. But any last words, Craig, for our listeners watching and listening to us?
No, look, just check out TED Talk and don't hesitate to reach out. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. If you want help, watch my TED Talk and I can teach you how to do anything. And I'm always willing to help support. If you know anybody that has a business with, this Capstone product, this wellness benefit that saves employers and employees on their FICA taxes, this product is available for businesses that have 10 or more employees. If your listeners know people that have 10 or more employees, I could certainly pay them a referral fee to push that over, so they could reach out in that case too. If they have employees themselves, a huge savings. It's tax deduction just like your meals in your hotel. So it's a very valuable product, and it gives your employees a small pay raise and better benefits. Yes. So reach out for that. And of course, I can build a marketing blueprint that I used to charge $30,000 for, and now I'm charging, and now I'm charging anywhere from $5,000 to $3,000. It's still an amazing blueprint for you to run your business, and we go through it all and explain exactly how to grow your business, grow your followers, grow your, I'm willing to help, I guess is the point. Don't think of me as somebody who's going to try to take all your money, because I'm not that guy who's going to say, oh, it's gazillion dollars. I don't want to be that guy. I just help people with a business.
No, man, I appreciate that, Greg, because we know there's plenty of those guys out there selling the sizzle and there's no steak. And I know you are the real deal, my friend. I want you guys to reach out to Craig. Let's all support his TEDx because we know the more that people watch the TEDx on YouTube, just type in Craig Hanley TEDx. Let's watch Craig's TEDx. Drop a like, drop a comment if you happen to watch it. And I know you guys don't like commenting on YouTube. I don't know why, but go ahead and do it. Drop a comment down there if you guys watch it on YouTube. I saw you on Carlos Inspire show, and who knows? Maybe I'll do some special for you. Let's help our brother Craig out. Get his TEDx out there. And if you guys know companies, 10 employees or more, they want to save some money. Craig has some really cool stuff cooking right now. The Kennedys are involved and a bunch of more great things happening. And I appreciate
other things I didn't even talk about, like a digital wallet with major celebrities, the customer journey in the background. And, I'm working on some of the Web3 type stuff. There's TV shows and films that I'm involved with, and we can help brands get on TV. So, I mean, it's, I'm putting some events together. I'm working some music festivals. We're doing for mental health, to support mental health. It's going to be like a 3-day festival. Working with Doug Ivanovich, who did Live Aid around that. I mean, there's a lot we didn't talk about that I'm involved in, but I'm an expert at hiring a Willy Wonka to run the business, and I let them hire the Oompa Loompas. And then I just kind of oversee everything that's going on. So I do have a lot of businesses, but sometimes it scares people. They're like, man, how do you get anything done? I get it done because I hire great people around me. I work with people like you, Carlos, and other people that are just amazing in what they do. And as a result, I have like-minded people who believe that execution and relationships are more important than money. And from there, we kind of.
No, man. Hey, man, I'm already thinking about something really cool. Once a lot of these projects that you are mentioning, they launch next year. I want to get you, my buddy, one of my best friends, Scott Page. He played for Pink Floyd for 20 years. And
I'm working with Scott already. I'm doing some marketing stuff with Scott now.
Oh, yeah. Scott is one of my best friends.
I was in Vegas. I was with Scott in Vegas last week.
Oh, yeah. We need to do something at the domes in LA, and then I can see us doing a live episode inside of one of those domes.
I'm actually sending him a record to add some horns on. He's going to put some horns on a record.
So. No way.
Yeah.
That's so cool, brother. That's super cool. I can already see us doing some things within those domes and using that to share some of the initiatives. Scott, he's big in giving back, speaking to the schools and the kids. So I love Scott. And anything that I can promote or help Scott, add value to him, I am massive in doing it. So that's super cool. Definitely, we're going to be masterminding, the three of us, and cooking it, some cool things out there for 2025. I can already see it as making a lot of noise.
I love it.
On social. Yeah, no, man. Thank you so much, brother Craig. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all of you guys here with us live and listening. Like you guys say, follow us, follow Greg. For you guys on LinkedIn, thank you so much. We are reaching 300,000 impressions on a weekly basis. You guys have no idea how much they help us. More listeners. Go ahead and follow Craig Hanley on LinkedIn as well. I've been telling Craig I want to see you more often on LinkedIn. He's not that as much, but now I'm going to be pushing my brother Craig to be there because he has so much to share, so much wisdom. The things that he teach and preach, it's effective and it help others. So let's rock and roll, guys. Follow Craig Hanley on everywhere, not just.
I'm doing real work. I can't afford to spend too much time on all these channels. I'm going to do some stuff.
For real, right? We're doing it. Remember, the drill, Greg. We do it at one time and we repurpose everywhere. But I appreciate you, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Guys out there, happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your family. For you guys that are watching us live, if you listen to us in 2 weeks, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. I love you all and I appreciate all the support over the years. We couldn't do this without you guys. As I always say, life is all about contribution, never acquisition.